Say hi, Bailey. It is 6 in the afternoon, and I'm just now starting to get some motivation. Shelby went to work around, I don't know, like 2:30, and I have had no motivation to do anything. She just called me on her break. Now we're off the phone. I'm kind of like, all right, let's go get some stuff done. I gotta drive all the way up to Taylor to go to Menards to get the gravel for the concrete, the sidewalk, because Lowe's pretty much only has like pea gravel and decorative stone, which you don't want to use. So that's cool. Plus I'm gonna buy one of those like hand compactor things to like smash it down. So here I'm just kind of like roughly putting the 2x4s out, just kind of getting an idea. I'll show you where I messed up here in a second. But I actually bought one that was, I was actually going to get them shorter than this. I was like, no, I'll get them a little bit longer than I need just to be safe. But as you can see, these worked out pretty much perfect. I'll have to trim probably about maybe 2 inches off of them. And I was figuring out here that the grass I dug kind of crooked, so some spots in the middle are like sticking out farther than the other. But so if you remember in my last video, I believe it was, I was saying I dug it 3 feet. Well, I didn't take into account that roughly 4 inches of that would be wood. So what I should have done would have been about 3 foot 4 inches, and then between the boards would have been 3 feet. Oh well, you live and learn. I'm terrible. Measuring and cutting wood are probably 2 of my worst skills for some reason. I don't know what it is, but every time. And it'll work out perfect. The gravel will be deeper than that little concrete thing that sticks up, so that won't really affect anything. But I gotta dig it a little bit wider. So I was actually gonna speed this clip up because not really much of anything happens. But I figured you guys would enjoy seeing the dogs. So the big one that's standing like behind me right now, that's Tasha. She's the mom. She's the purebred pug. And it's funny because the little one is Coco. She's the smallest one. Tasha is actually mostly blind. If you'll notice, a lot of times if you ever see her in the background of my videos when she's outside, she uses the perimeter of everything to like keep track of where she is. Like she'll walk right next to the garage, you know, right next to those patio bricks and stuff like that. Usually like right along the fences. It's the only time that she's not is pretty much when she's, you know, using the bathroom. But she's a great dog. We love her. She's, aside from that, she's doing great. She's in good health, still playful in her old age, still the most loving dog you could possibly imagine. And then I didn't even notice Coco was in the garage for so long, so who knows what her devious butt got into. But if you can see behind my car right there, kind of like where the back bumper is, that like pile of dirt, that is where I was dumping the dirt from right here where I'm standing. Don't know why, but there was a sidewalk there, and it actually goes to a door. There's a side door in our garage on that left side, like where Tasha just walked. And that sidewalk is literally like almost as deep as where I'm standing right now compared to the grass. It's like that over there. So I literally just poured all that dirt on there. As it kind of dries out, I'm going to break it up and just smooth it out, put some grass seed down, and kind of fill that in, which will be nice. It already looks 10 times better not having that old sidewalk. So I kind of had the idea to just take my 4-pound little mini sledgehammer and bust this up, but it doesn't work. I busted a little bit of it, but I was kind of hoping it would just break off in, you know, a couple big chunks. I need to invest in a full-size sledgehammer. That would definitely probably have worked. But right here, what I'm kicking on, there's like just random chunks of like concrete and bricks and stuff and I was trying to figure it out. I'm like, what? Oh, actually, no, right there. I'm sorry. Where I was kicking, there was a hole, like a snake or something had dug, and it was just getting like. The more I kicked dirt into it, like it just kept going and going. I'm like, dang. But that spot right next to where I was kicking, there's a big chunk of. There's a little chunk sticking up, but it turns out to be a big chunk. It was literally like a chunk of broken sidewalk or something. I'm so curious what they used to have here. Because when we bought the house, I don't know if I have any of those on video, but there were these old like pavers, like the patio paver things, and they were like a pea gravel design on the top. I think I have a picture that I will put in right here. Yeah, this was maybe 3 years ago. I had just bought this car to or no, I'm sorry, I actually had. I don't remember if I traded for this one or bought it, but I didn't keep it long. I'm not a Chevy guy. But you can see those like ugly old pavers that they had there for a walkway, and we had just planted little trees, and they had the gravel kind of surrounded by those garden timber things. I forget what they're called, but I ripped those out with intentions of replacing them last year because they were all pretty much like dry rotted, and most of them were just like more than halfway rotted away, and I never got around to it, and I kind of just grew having it wide open the way it is versus like running over that thing, and I don't know, it just, I guess it never really bugged me getting rid of them, you know, instead of having, you know, worrying about putting them back. But the gravel in this driveway really bugs me. You can see it's just so overgrown and nasty, and like some of the old like weed mat that they laid down to make weeds stop growing, to make weeds not grow through it, clearly didn't work, and you can see it through most of the driveway. So that is something I would love to get this just covered in asphalt, but that's probably a couple $1,000s, and that will definitely be a future project. But so I'm digging here about 2 more inches out, and depth-wise, you can see it's plenty deep. I actually went deeper right here in the front, like where I'm digging, because in the past, when it would rain a lot, like a lot of water would just kind of build up in this general area and not, you know, drain and evaporate or whatever. So I figured a little bit extra gravel there definitely won't hurt. Make it a little bit deeper. As I'm doing this, though, I'm not taking into consideration how expensive it's going to be to get all this gravel from Lowe's or Home Depot or Menards, wherever I go. 'Cause that stuff's usually about $4 a bag for like a 40-pound bag. And here I start getting smart with a shovel, trying to get those. I was just going to go not worry about those concrete chunks or whatever they were, but then I'm like, you know what, let me get those out of there, because all that's going to do is just, that's displacement of soil and gravel to absorb more water. You know, that concrete's not going to absorb water like that. So I think these definitely contributed to the drainage issue in this area. Alright, I'm back in from working outside. That sucked, as usual. But so I've got the depth dug out. Um, if you'll notice, like the closer I got to the steps, or to the deck, I went a little bit lower, intentionally and unintentionally. Like I meant to go lower a little bit because I want more gravel in that area, because water has always kind of been an issue in that area. So more gravel, more drainage. But I ended up like, I'm trying to dig and make it somewhat even. I'm like, here's a chunk of like cement or something. Here's a chunk. Here's a chunk. So I'm trying to like move them with the shovel, and I finally got the one to move. And come to find out, it's like a chunk of old sidewalk or something. So that was fun to move. And then I pulled out a few more like bricks and other random chunks. So that spot's pretty low, but I'm just gonna fill that with more gravel. So the reason I didn't go get the gravel, because that was actually what I planned on doing instead of going out digging. Let me get some lights on. Oh my god, Bailey and her toys up on the couch. So the reason I didn't go get the gravel, gotta get that in the, was because I'm kind of torn right now between just having a load delivered and going to buy. Oh, I'm super frustrated. I was recording for like probably like a solid 5 or 6 minutes, and then I looked down and it wasn't even recording. I had my phone on mute, so like it didn't make the little like beep noise when it stopped recording. The thing, like when I delete videos, when I put the videos on my computer, I gotta go delete them out of my phone, and then when I delete them, I have to go in like the deleted folder and actually like permanently delete them or whatever, which it's annoying, but it's nice, because if you accidentally delete something, you got a chance to like undelete it or whatever. But so I had deleted like 40 clips and pictures last time I went through my phone, I guess, and deleted them, but forgot to like actually delete them from the phone, so they were still there. So I did that, freed up a ton of space. So I wanted to go get the gravel, and I was gonna go to Lowe's, but Lowe's doesn't have the type of gravel I need. They've got pea gravel, and then like lava rock, and is it like Riverstone or something like that? Pea gravel you can use, but it doesn't like, because it's curved and smooth, like it doesn't kind of like lock in place, if that makes sense. Like regular like chipped kind of gravel, like our driveway is over here, like it kind of, once it's compacted, like it's not moving, it's not gonna like, some vibrations not gonna like move it around, I guess, like pea gravel. And this is all, this stuff might be wrong, but this is what I'm reading online. So I didn't want to do that. So I found Menards has the stuff I need for $4 a bag. And I'm like, I found a little calculator online, calculator. Found a little calculator online of, you put like, the length, the width, and the depth, and it tells you like how many bags, or it actually breaks it down like all kinds of like how many bags, the cubic feet, the cubic yards, square footage, the weight, so however you're ordering or buying it, it's really cool. So I was gonna go to Menards and buy it. I needed roughly like 11 bags, it says, but because that front part got so much deeper, which I'll go into that in a second, I knew I was gonna need a couple more bags just for that area alone. So I was like, I'll grab like 15 just to be safe. And then I'm like, oh my god, these bags are 50 pounds a piece. I'm like, 15 of these, and it's up in Taylor, so it's a solid like 25-minute drive for me. It's all on the highway too, so I'm like, having my car squatted down that much, doing 70 miles an hour on the highway doesn't sound that appealing. So I ended up kind of just, I had no motivation today as it was. But I ended up sitting on the computer for a while again, started to edit a video, and I had to actually like reformat our Mac. That's a whole nother story. I just had to like transfer everything to our external hard drive and then like retransfer it and format and stuff like that. So that took a while, and I wanted to get that done. Like when it was done transferring, I had to do some stuff to it. But now it's like coming up on 9 o'clock, and I just didn't have any motivation today, like I was saying earlier. But so I was like, all right, I've got everything dug out the way I want now. Tomorrow when I get up, as soon as Shelby leaves for work, I'm gonna head to Menards, get the gravel, get that poured in there. Couple hours worth of work, and a couple hours total, but majority of it's driving. And then I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, you know what? That's a decent amount of gravel I need. Like I don't need like 2 or 3 bags. Like I need 15. I need like over 500 pounds worth. I'm like, I wonder what like a landscape company would charge to deliver that. I saw a neighbor get like a load of stone delivered, and that I just remembered that, and I'm like, I wonder how much that is. So I tried calling like 3 places that I could find numbers for, and every time I would call, it would just like it would say dialing or whatever, and then it would just be like beep beep, call failed or something. I'm like, are these? Then I'm like, oh, I bet they're closed for the coronavirus stuff or whatever. And then I'm like, no, I know a couple of them are open because I've seen the one that I tried calling. I've seen them out and about, like working on people's yards and stuff because it's a landscaping place. So I'm like, they wouldn't have their phones shut off. And I'm like, what's the irony that all of them would? So I don't know if there's a deal with my phone or if there's something with Verizon. Because actually I wasn't able to use data while I was on the phone either earlier, which was annoying. But anyway, so I sent them an email, and then I'm like, you know what? Let me try calling again. It was a couple hours later. Well, about an hour later, I called, and of course, it was right before they were getting ready to close. But they answered. I'm like, oh, cool. So I explained to him. I'm like, do you guys deliver gravel? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. I was like, I forgive me. Sorry if I sound dumb or whatever. Ask dumb question. I'm like, I've never had anything like that delivered. Is there like a minimum amount, or how does that work? He's like, no. He's like, you're just paying for the truck, So it's $65, 60, I think, 60 or 65 for them to deliver it here, and basically like whatever amount I want. Obviously you got to pay for, whatever you have delivered, but the delivery fee is 65, which I'm like, that is, again, $60 I don't want to spend, but $60 to not have to drive a half hour north, go to the store, load up 15 bags of that heavy stuff on this cart, wheel it across the store, pay for it, wheel it out to the parking lot, load the bags into my car, drive a half hour home, and then unload the bags here. I'm like, my back likes that. So, I forgot. I was like, cool. I was like, I know you guys are about to close, so, I'll give you guys a call tomorrow or whatever when I figure out how much I need. And so we got off the phone, and I should have actually asked, like, I don't know if they go by like weight or yards or what it is, but I've got it all calculated on my computer of how much I need for that, just that sidewalk. But I started thinking, I'm like, if I'm having them deliver it, depending on the price, I might have them deliver a fuck ton, for lack of a better terms. Because I need like a third of a ton, and that'll probably give me more than I need just for this. So I'm like, I was reading online because they don't have prices listed online. So I was reading online, like on like Angie's List, like websites like that, trying to figure out like what people pay on average for gravel delivery. And for the most part, it was anywhere from like $7 to $40 a ton. And there were a couple that were like 50, 60, 70, even $80 a ton. But I think some of those were calculating the cost of delivery in with it as well, which I already know the delivery is $60 or 65. Like, that's fine. It's just, now how much is the stone? How much is the gravel? We've got that big gravel driveway. If I remember, I'll try to put, like, if I can find it, like a drone shot here that'll show that driveway. Just kind of give you a perspective of how big it is. It's like two cars wide in front of my garage, and then it narrows down to 1 car length, the rest all the way out to the street. And from when my car caught on fire in front of our gate, like on the roadside, most of that stone is gone because I shoveled most of it away, getting like the debris and the melted stuff off there. And it was always like when we bought the house, it needed to be replaced anyways, but I just never have because I never actually realized how affordable it really is to get the stone delivered. Actually, super excited because now I might have them deliver if it's, I mean, it's looking like for like roughly $120. I can have enough stone delivered for the concrete, the sidewalk, and enough to completely redo this whole driveway, which would be awesome. Like, you guys don't even understand how much that would excite me. I really want to get it asphalted apparently eventually, but that's going to cost a couple thousand, and that is definitely not in the budget right now. So spending, less than a couple hundred to have all that gravel would be amazing. So I'm going to give them a call tomorrow, and I'll definitely let you know what they say.